Just kind of wanted to share with you guys my moped that I've been restoring. So I'm going to show you some details on how it works and some of the cool little nifty features that it has. It's from 1957. It's a 1957 DKW Hummel. Specifically, it's the Type 101 of this particular moped. And it's not the Lux model. The Lux model had a little better integrated headlight and some other little nicer, fancier features. So this is probably the middle trim level that you would have gotten back in 1957 in Germany. And so this bike was sold in Europe and Germany. I obviously am not in Germany right now. I'm actually in Detroit. So this was actually brought here in the 60s by a gentleman after he was in the war, and this was part of his collection. And when he passed away, I actually bought it at a estate sale. And it was kind of in boxes, didn't run, and I kind of committed to figuring it out. And so it's been about 3 years running now, and it's finally running. So here it is, and I'll show it to you. Road noise, I live kind of close to a highway, but I'll show you guys a little bit about it. So right now it's not running, but right here you have the clutch. Clutch is on the left-hand grip, and then you twist to change gears. So you have first, neutral, second, and third. To start the bike, basically, you just put it into first gear, and you start pedaling it while you hold in the clutch lever. And then when you're ready to start the bike, you can release the clutch lever slowly, and you give it throttle, which is on the right-hand grip, and she just starts right up. The brakes, you have a front brake on the right-hand grip. Then you also have a rear caster brake. That's pretty cool. You have, to turn off the bike, you have a kill switch to the right, and then you have a headlight functionality if you turn it to the left, and then if you just leave it in the middle, it's on, but doesn't turn on the light functionality. And then you have a speedometer here, which is pretty cool. So far, I've gotten her to hit just over 30 miles an hour, at least according to the speedometer. I'm sure it's not terribly accurate, but I haven't had the time to test it with GPS yet. The suspension on this is really crazy. You can see inside the wheel here, it's actually run by these two rubber bands, and they connect to this arm right here, which connects to the axle, and there's rubber bands on this side of the fork and then on this side of the fork. And that basically gives you your spring and your suspension so you don't bottom out. Then you have your brake cable, which attaches here, speedometer cable, which attaches down here. As far as the engine goes, like I said, it's a 50cc engine. I personally really like the tailpipe. It's pretty cool. It comes to like a pencil point on the end. And then the rear, you've got a chain cover that keeps everything kind of nice and clean, which is cool. You've got the little label here, so this is kind of what my label looks like with serial number and stuff like that. Haven't quite figured out what this handle is, so if anybody happens to know what that is for, I would love to know. Also, this hole up here I haven't quite figured out yet. It's at the top of the tank. I think this might be to attach an optional windscreen and child seat, but I haven't fully deciphered that yet. The seat here is really cool. The seat is basically just this rubber piece, and it's wrapped around this frame, which basically just makes it act kind of like a hammock. So as you sit on it, it just kind of flexes. There's a spring in here underneath, so you get a little bit of spring there, and then you get a little bit of spring in this to give you the cushion. It's actually really, really comfortable. I'm surprised we don't do more seats like this, just because since it's rubber, it's weather resistant. You got like your little book rack here, which right now I have my lock thrown into. You got shocks, and this is the tail light. It's got the cool Auto Union decal here. Unfortunately, it's a little faded. I'm in Michigan, so I actually made this little bracket to attach the decal so that I wouldn't have to stick it to the frame of the bike, thanks to some of my friends in Detroit Moped Works. And then this here is a cover, and if you open this guy up, you can see the carburetor inside. And then right here is the where you shift gears. These are the cables that reach down into that. You've got your choke here. The bike definitely leaks, just due to the fact that the float is a really kind of low-tech solution. Old tech, I should say, more than low-tech. But it still works as long as I turn off the petcock when I'm done riding the bike. It doesn't seem to leak too bad back here. That's the petcock. And yeah, I mean, that's basically it. So I got this cool bell that was an option for the bike, but it didn't come with mine. Sounds pretty awesome. And let's see, I guess I'll just get her started and then you guys can see how she runs and how she sounds. Now she's running. Hopefully you can hear my voice. If I turn this guy this way, you'll see the headlight comes on. Tail light. The back, it's probably kind of hard to see right now, but it does light up in there, which is pretty cool. Right now she's just in neutral. Yeah, so see what she sounds like. Oh, pretty good. It sounds pretty clean. I'm using a little bit of rattle right now because my bike lock attached back there rattles a little bit. But overall, she runs awesome and starts up every time as long as she has fuel in her, and shifts gear really easily. You definitely get a little tired with your left hand just because of the way that you have to pull and shift. If it's something that you're not used to doing, it can get kind of tiresome. As you can see, it's got this double-ended cable, and so when you twist it forward, it'll pull one and loosen the other, and then when you twist back, it'll do the opposite, and that reaches down into the container down there that I was talking about, pulls those two levers and allows it to shift gears appropriately. So that's basically how my DKW works. If you happen to have any questions, or if you happen to have any more information for me that might be cool, it would be really cool to hear from you. So feel free to write me a comment, and I will try to respond if you happen to have any questions as well. I can even respond with more videos. So yeah, just hit me up.